So we're going to take a look at the domain of the cosine function, and that's going to be very similar to the domain of the sine function. So if you remember, for domain, the question that we're asking, let's grab our marker here. So you always ask yourself this question: what values can be used as inputs for the function? So if you think about a function like a box, so here's our cosine function. The things that come into the cosine function are called our inputs, and things that come out are the outputs. So it's pretty straightforward. For example, I could input, let's say 30 degrees. And so when 30 degrees goes in, the cosine function says, take a look at the unit circle, find your 30-degree angle, figure out where the terminal side meets the unit circle, and then figure out how far to the right or the left that is. Essentially, figure out the x value. So 30 degrees gets put in, and then there's some output. 30 degrees is part of the domain, and it's that easy. So when you're looking at domain, it's often easier, I'll write this down for you. It's easier to determine what values are not in the domain. So what we look at is, are there any angles that we can't plug in to the cosine function? Are there any angles that don't have a left or right movement? Okay, and the answer is no. There are no restrictions. There are no angles that are going to give us errors out. So for us, the domain for the cosine function is all real numbers. So the domain is equal to all real numbers. Either any type of degree you want to plug in or any type of radian. No matter what the angle is, you can plug it in and you're going to get an output back out. So we would write this using interval notation as -infinity to infinity, and that will be our domain.